Hey August Virgos, listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal could change everything you think you know about your life right now. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, something invisible is quietly unraveling all the progress, all the stability you've built? What if that invisible force isn't random, but actually rooted in a very specific habit you picked up back in June? A habit so subtle you might not even realize it's there, yet it's powerful enough to threaten your peace, your goals, even your relationships. I'm your name, and I've spent years diving deep into astrology and the hidden forces shaping our lives, especially how the stars and planets influence not just who we are, but how we grow or sometimes, how we self-sabotage. Today, we're zooming in on August Virgos and a cosmic pattern from June that's been quietly messing with your energy, and I promise, understanding this could be the key to regaining your calm and control. If you're new here, welcome to Zen Mind Peaceful Life, where we combine ancient astrological wisdom with practical psychological insights to help you live a more balanced, mindful, and empowered life. So before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, tap the like if you're a Virgo or just love astrology, and share this with someone who needs a little cosmic clarity today. Trust me, you'll want to watch until the end, because I'm not just pointing out the problem, I'm also giving you powerful, easy-to-use tools to break free from this hidden June habit and reclaim your peace. Let's get started. You know, August Virgos have always been known for their incredible dedication, sharp minds, and that natural desire to bring order to chaos. But sometimes, the very traits that make you so effective can also become your biggest stumbling blocks, especially when unseen habits sneak in under the radar. What's fascinating is how something as seemingly harmless as a habit picked up during a particular month, in this case, June, can ripple through your life months later, quietly eroding the foundation you've worked so hard to build. It's like a slow leak in a boat you didn't even realize was there until suddenly you're struggling to stay afloat. Back in June, the cosmos played a subtle yet powerful role, stirring up energies that encouraged overthinking and mental overload. Imagine a Virgo named Emma, who prides herself on her meticulous planning and attention to detail. June was supposed to be her month of momentum, finishing projects, making progress on long-term goals, but instead, she found herself caught in a relentless cycle of second-guessing every decision. Instead of moving forward, Emma's mind was trapped in what psychologists call analysis paralysis, a state where too much thinking actually blocks action. It's the mental equivalent of being stuck in quicksand. What makes this particularly tricky for Virgos is how deeply your identity is tied to perfection and control. When overthinking kicks in, it's not just a little distraction, it becomes a powerful inner critic amplifying every doubt and fear. Emma would spend hours revising the same document, convinced it wasn't good enough, even though objectively, it was excellent. The perfectionism that once propelled her now turned into a prison. And this wasn't just a productivity issue, it was draining her emotional energy and shaking her confidence. Mercury retrograde added fuel to this fire in June, stirring up confusion and miscommunication. Especially for a Virgo whose ruling planet governs communication itself. Mercury's tricky dance can cause messages to get lost or misunderstood, leading to frustrating misunderstandings that leave you questioning your abilities or intentions. Take another Virgo, James, who in June tried to negotiate a big contract. Despite his usual clarity, a misread email led to a delay that felt like a personal failure. Instead of addressing it head-on, James bottled up his frustration, which only compounded the stress and created a rift with his team. What psychology teaches us here is the danger of emotional bottling. When Virgo tendencies lean toward avoiding conflict to maintain order, feelings get suppressed instead of expressed. This isn't healthy, and over time, the pressure builds until something eventually gives. It's like shaking a soda bottle, ignore the fizz. And when it finally bursts, the fallout can be much bigger than the original issue warranted. The key for Virgos is learning how to recognize these emotional buildups early and create safe ways to release them. Like regular check-ins with trusted friends or mindful journaling. One of the most damaging habits that took root in June for many August Virgos was neglecting self-care in the face of overcommitment. You might recognize this in yourself, those times when you say yes to too many things, trying to meet every expectation and keep every ball in the air. The energy of June pushed you to keep going, ignoring the body's signals for rest and replenishment. The result? Burnout disguised as stubborn perseverance. Take Claire, an August Virgo who is the epitome of hard work and responsibility. She pushed through long days without breaks, fueled by a sense of duty and an anxious need to maintain control. But by the time July arrived, Claire was exhausted and started making small mistakes that snowballed into larger problems. Her finely tuned system of productivity was faltering, not because she lacked skill, but because the foundation, her health and mental clarity, had been compromised. This neglect is a silent habit that erodes everything from creativity to resilience. And it's often the hardest to spot because it masquerades as dedication. Psychologists remind us that our brains and bodies are deeply interconnected. Chronic stress without recovery leads to impaired decision-making and lower emotional regulation. For Virgos, who value precision and effectiveness, this can feel like a cruel irony. The harder you push, the more your results suffer. The solution isn't just about taking breaks, but about embracing boundaries and understanding that rest is an active form of self-respect, not weakness. Simple practices like scheduling short mindfulness pauses, setting clear limits on work hours, and prioritizing sleep can make a world of difference. What makes all of this so compelling is how these June habits don't just affect your work, they bleed into relationships too. Avoiding conflict might keep the peace on the surface, but it creates unseen tensions underneath. When you keep suppressing your true feelings, those cracks grow, and eventually, things can unravel unexpectedly. Remember James, who bottled his frustration at work? Imagine that same pattern playing out at home or with friends, small miscommunications or unspoken grievances that accumulate until one day, a minor disagreement blows up disproportionately. Virgos are natural problem solvers, but when emotional buildup is ignored, even your best intentions can lead to misunderstandings and hurt feelings. The real challenge here, and the secret power, is in awareness. Recognizing that these subtle June habits are at work is the first step toward change. You don't have to wait for a cosmic realignment or external circumstances to shift. By tuning into your thoughts, your emotions, and your body's signals today, you can start unraveling these patterns before they do more damage. For instance, when you catch yourself stuck in overthinking, try grounding techniques like focusing on your breath or a simple sensory exercise. Notice the feeling of your feet on the ground or the texture of an object in your hand. These moments pull you back from mental spirals into present awareness. Or when you sense emotional tension building, instead of pushing it down, try writing down your feelings without judgment. This practice, often called expressive writing, has been shown to reduce stress and improve emotional clarity. And don't underestimate the power of small, consistent self-care rituals. Drinking water mindfully, stretching in the morning, or a brief walk outside can replenish your mental reserves. These aren't just feel-good tips, they are essential practices to rebuild the foundation that June's habits threaten to weaken. As we move forward in this video, we'll explore how you can repair and rebuild with the support of upcoming planetary shifts, and I'll share even more tools to help you create lasting peace and stability. But for now, take a moment to reflect. Which June habit resonates most with your recent struggles? What's one small shift you could make today to reclaim your calm? Stay with me, there's so much more coming that will help you transform these challenges into your greatest strengths. One of the most subtle yet powerful ways June's energy impacted August Virgos lies in the decisions made under pressure, especially regarding finances and commitments. When the stars nudge you into a more expansive or even impulsive mindset, it can feel like an invitation to stretch beyond your usual boundaries. This can be exciting, even exhilarating at first, like when a Virgo named Lena found herself swept up in opportunities that seemed to promise quick growth and success. She had always been cautious with her money, saving meticulously and planning carefully. But that June, something felt different. She started saying yes to new investments and projects that promised big returns without the usual thorough vetting. At first, it felt like progress. But as July unfolded, Lena realized she hadn't fully assessed the risks. Small financial oversights, ignored details in contracts, rushed decisions on expenses began to accumulate. It wasn't just about losing money, but about the stress and distraction that followed. Her usual calm and methodical approach was replaced by anxiety and regret. This pattern is something many Virgos fall into when Jupiter's expansive energy stirs ambition without the usual grounding. Psychologically, this reflects a classic tension between the desire for growth and the fear of failure, which can lead to impulsive choices cloaked in optimism. The antidote here is slowing down and anchoring yourself back to your core values. Instead of chasing every shiny opportunity, return to the Virgo gift of careful analysis, but paired now with self-compassion rather than self-criticism. Practicing a simple financial check-in ritual once a week. Asking, does this align with my long-term goals, can prevent slipping into risky behaviors. When you feel the urge to leap, pause, breathe, and consult a trusted advisor or even a journal before making major decisions. June's influence didn't stop at money, it also wove its way into relationships in ways Virgos might not expect. The habit of misreading others' intentions, or assuming the worst when communication feels off, can grow quietly but disrupt deeply. Imagine a Virgo named Ryan, who in June began doubting his closest friendships after a few missed messages and canceled plans. Normally rational and understanding, Ryan let his mind fill with worst-case scenarios, convinced that friends were pulling away or harboring hidden resentment. The real situation was far less dramatic. His friends were simply overwhelmed by their own schedules, but the habit of suspicion planted by June's tricky communication energies led to distance and frustration. This kind of relational tension is fueled by Virgo's perfectionistic desire for clarity and order. When that clarity isn't present, anxiety can fill the gap. Psychologically, it's a pattern of projection, where internal fears color the interpretation of external events. The key to breaking this cycle is practicing compassionate curiosity, asking open-ended questions and allowing space for uncertainty rather than rushing to judgment. If you catch yourself spiraling in doubt, try to step back and remind yourself that not every silence or missed call is a personal slight. Cultivating this mental flexibility strengthens relationships and reduces needless suffering. Another layer of June's influence involves Jupiter's powerful expansion, which, while generally beneficial, can sometimes push Virgos into uncomfortable territory. The energy of growth is intoxicating, it encourages new experiences, broader perspectives, and sometimes, risk-taking. But for a Virgo who thrives on structure, this can feel like overreach, an unsettling pressure to stretch beyond what feels safe or manageable. Take the example of Olivia, who in June signed up for a series of workshops, networking events, and ambitious projects all at once, driven by a fear of missing out and a desire to prove herself. By midsummer, Olivia was overwhelmed. Her calendar was packed, and her mind raced with obligations and deadlines. The joy of growth was overshadowed by exhaustion and self-doubt. This experience reflects a psychological tension many face, the pull between expansion and stability. For Virgos, finding balance means recognizing that growth doesn't have to come at the cost of well-being. Sometimes, it's about scaling back, prioritizing deeply meaningful opportunities, and allowing yourself permission to say no. Grounding practices, like mindful breathing or a daily gratitude ritual, can help center your energy and prevent burnout during periods of rapid change. Saturn's influence during this time brought a different kind of challenge, a demand for discipline that, if taken too rigidly, can create bottlenecks. Picture Alex, an August Virgo who, inspired by Saturn's energy, doubled down on strict routines and high expectations. While discipline is one of Virgo's strengths, turning it into inflexibility can block creativity and stall progress. Alex found himself stuck in cycles of self-judgment, unable to move forward because he felt everything had to be perfect before the next step. This perfectionism-driven paralysis is a common psychological trap, often tied to fear of failure or criticism. The solution lies in embracing imperfection as part of the process. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or flawless conditions, allow yourself to experiment, fail, and learn. Setting micro-goals or breaking tasks into small, manageable steps can reduce overwhelm and build momentum. Celebrating small wins nurtures motivation and softens the grip of harsh self-standards. Finally, Venus's influence in June stirred questions about value and self-worth, which for Virgos can translate into confusing signals about love, relationships, and personal boundaries. Consider Maya, who found herself second-guessing what she deserved from both romantic and professional partnerships. Venus's energy made her hyper-aware of where she might be settling for less than she deserves, but also fearful of rocking the boat by asserting herself. This tug-of-war is deeply human but especially poignant for Virgos who naturally seek harmony and tend to put others' needs before their own. Psychology reminds us that self-worth is foundational for healthy relationships and personal peace. Learning to set boundaries isn't just about saying no, it's about saying yes to yourself. Simple yet powerful practices like daily affirmations or boundary-setting exercises can shift this dynamic. For instance, Maya started a habit of identifying one area each day where she could kindly but firmly assert her needs, which gradually transformed her confidence and how others treated her. All of these June influences, woven into the fabric of Virgo's nature, highlight a powerful truth: the cosmos isn't here to limit you but to help you grow. The tricky part is that growth often feels uncomfortable, messy, and confusing before it becomes clear and empowering. But by tuning into these patterns, by bringing awareness and compassion to the way you respond to challenges, you can turn what once felt like stumbling blocks into stepping stones. As you reflect on these stories and insights, notice what resonates most deeply with you. Which parts of June's energy still linger, quietly shaping your days? And more importantly, how can you begin to transform these habits with kindness toward yourself and grounded, practical steps? The journey ahead is not about perfection but about mindful progress, and I'm here to guide you through every twist and turn. Keep watching, there's still so much more to uncover about how to rebuild, heal, and thrive with the stars on your side. As we continue to unravel the subtle energies that have been influencing August Virgos, it's essential to dive into how self-awareness becomes not just a tool but a superpower in overcoming these challenges. The ability to observe your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without harsh judgment can create a space where transformation begins naturally. Imagine Sarah, a Virgo who recently felt overwhelmed by the messiness of life, her mind cluttered with doubts about her career path, relationships, and personal worth. Instead of pushing those feelings away, Sarah started practicing daily mindful reflection, simply noticing what arose inside her without trying to fix it immediately. This gentle attention helped her recognize patterns that had been sabotaging her progress, like the habit of retreating into self-criticism whenever things didn't go perfectly. With this awareness, Sarah gradually shifted her internal dialogue to one of curiosity and kindness, which opened doors to new possibilities rather than shutting them. This kind of self-reflection is deeply rooted in both astrology and psychology. The Virgo archetype thrives on clarity and precision, but sometimes that perfectionist streak can morph into rigid self-judgment. Turning that critical energy inward can feel like trying to control the uncontrollable, which paradoxically increases anxiety and blocks growth. However, by training your mind to observe rather than react, you create mental flexibility, a quality that allows you to navigate uncertainties with more ease and less suffering. Building on this, introducing simple daily rituals aligned with Virgo's earthy nature can ground you in the present and restore a sense of peace. Take Alex, another Virgo who struggled with the chaos of June but found solace in creating a morning ritual that involved grounding exercises. Like barefoot walking on grass, deep breathing, and journaling 3 things he was grateful for. These small acts became anchors, helping him start each day with calm and intention. which in turn improved his productivity and emotional resilience. It's amazing how these little moments of self-care can shift your entire outlook. They serve as reminders that healing isn't about giant leaps but consistent, gentle steps toward balance. Of course, the cosmos is never static. As we move from June into July and August, new planetary energies offer fresh opportunities for healing and growth. The shifts in the sky bring more supportive aspects that encourage Virgos to release old burdens and step into their authentic power. Think of it like seasonal changes in nature. The frost melts, the soil softens, and new seeds can take root. This celestial transition mirrors your own potential for renewal. For Virgos who felt stuck or overwhelmed, this period signals a chance to recalibrate. Embrace flexibility and nurture what truly matters. In this context, cultivating a cosmic journal can be incredibly powerful. Writing down your feelings, thoughts, and experiences alongside noting planetary movements helps you connect your inner world with external cycles. Maya, a Virgo who started this practice, found that over time, she could anticipate emotional shifts and prepare herself better, turning what used to feel like random mood swings into understandable rhythms. This awareness gave her a sense of control and partnership with the universe rather than feeling at its mercy. As you embrace these tools, remember that the journey of transformation is deeply personal and ongoing. Virgos often feel pressure to have all the answers immediately, but true growth unfolds in layers. Being patient with yourself and celebrating small victories fosters resilience. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a triumph over the invisible habits that tried to hold you back. And here's the beautiful truth: the very traits that make Virgos meticulous and detail-oriented, when paired with self-compassion and awareness, can become your greatest allies. You have an incredible capacity for healing and creating meaningful change because you are wired to learn, adapt, and improve. The challenge is learning how to soften the edges of your inner critic and allow space for imperfection and grace. So take a deep breath and recognize that these cosmic lessons are invitations, not punishments. The universe is encouraging you to shed what no longer serves and to build a foundation rooted in mindful awareness, balanced self-care, and gentle growth. This is your time to step into a more peaceful, empowered version of yourself. Before we close, I encourage you to reflect: what small ritual can you start tomorrow that honors your need for stability and calm? How can you practice observing your thoughts without judgment? The answers to these questions will be your compass as you navigate the days ahead. Thank you for being here and sharing this journey. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with fellow Virgos or anyone looking to live a more balanced life. I'd love to hear your experiences and questions in the comments below. Let's support each other in this cosmic dance of growth. Remember, your stars are aligned for healing, and I'm honored to walk this path with you. Until next time, stay grounded, stay mindful, and keep shining your unique light. As we approach the final part of this cosmic journey for August Virgos, it's important to explore how the very essence of Virgos' nature, their analytical mind and desire for clarity, can become the key to turning challenges into opportunities. Awareness, that quiet but powerful quality, allows you to spot subtle patterns before they spiral out of control. Take Daniel, a Virgo who used to feel overwhelmed by the whirlwind of thoughts and worries that June's energy had stirred up in his life. Instead of being consumed by them, he began practicing a daily habit of self-reflection, a moment each evening where he asked himself, "What thoughts are serving me? What am I holding on to that I could gently release?" This simple practice didn't erase his challenges overnight, but it gave him space to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Over time, this cultivated a sense of calm resilience. This idea of mindful awareness is more than just a spiritual buzzword. It's rooted in psychological research showing that metacognition, or thinking about one's own thinking, is a cornerstone of emotional intelligence and self-regulation. For Virgos, whose minds are naturally detailed and discerning, learning to channel this tendency into compassionate observation rather than harsh judgment is transformative. It means when the familiar pattern of overthinking arises, you don't get stuck. Instead, you notice it, let it pass, and choose a different, more empowering thought or action. Alongside awareness, daily rituals tailored to Virgo's grounded, earthy energy can be incredibly stabilizing. Emma, another Virgo, found that incorporating a simple evening ritual, lighting a candle, stretching gently, and reflecting on what went well that day, helped her transition from the high demands of work to a more peaceful state. These rituals aren't about grand gestures but about creating consistent moments that anchor you in presence and peace. They remind you that self-care is not selfish, it's essential to maintaining the clarity and strength Virgos are known for. Now, as July and August unfold, the cosmos shifts, offering fresh momentum and opportunities to reset. The planetary energies begin to ease the tension that built up during June, inviting August Virgos to shed old habits and step into more aligned versions of themselves. Imagine this phase like a deep breath after a long-held inhale. Relaxation finally arrives, and with it, the chance to move forward with renewed clarity and confidence. The trick is to embrace these changes with openness, letting go of rigid expectations and allowing space for growth to unfold naturally. One practical way to harness this energy is through what I like to call a cosmic journal. This isn't just any journal. It's a sacred space where you track not only your feelings and reflections but also the movements of the planets and how they resonate with your daily life. Julia, a Virgo who started this practice, discovered that patterns began to emerge. Times when she felt drained, anxious, or inspired often aligned with specific planetary shifts. This connection deepened her understanding of herself and reduced the frustration that comes from feeling at the mercy of unpredictable moods or circumstances. It turned astrology from an abstract idea into a tangible tool for self-empowerment. Remember, the journey of healing and growth is not about perfection or rushing to fix everything at once. It's about patience, kindness, and consistent effort. Each day you choose awareness, each moment you lean into grounding rituals, and each time you align with cosmic cycles, you strengthen your foundation. The powerful Virgo within you is designed not only to build but to rebuild, reshape, and thrive, especially after navigating challenges. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this: the habits and patterns that may have threatened your peace since June don't define you. They are simply old stories you can rewrite. The stars are here to guide you, but the real power lies within your willingness to embrace change and cultivate mindfulness. If this video resonated with you, please make sure to like it, subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life for more astrology insights and practical wisdom, and share this with anyone who could use a little cosmic clarity today. Your support helps this community grow and allows us to keep bringing you content that nourishes both your mind and soul. Drop a comment below sharing your experiences or questions. I love hearing how the cosmic energies affect your journey. And together, we can support each other through these cycles. Thank you for being here and trusting me to guide you through this. Remember to stay grounded, stay mindful, and keep shining your beautiful Virgo light. Until next time, may your mind stay peaceful and your life stay aligned.